Yes, uh, greetings from Dr. Deepak Vaikar. Today I'm going to share with you on a very important topic, technologies, policies and practices for sustainable and clean energy systems. Okay, I'm giving you my email address here, okay, and WhatsApp number. You are most welcome to connect with me on this one. Okay, agenda for this presentation is introduction, current scenario, technologies, policies, and practices, challenges and opportunities, and what are the future possibilities. Okay. Introduction. I would like to briefly give introduction. Yes, I did my schooling from small town in India, Maharashtra. I was born on day of Deepavali, so my parents gave me the name Deepak. Then I studied at engineering college in Aurangabad, Maharashtra, did my bachelor's of engineering, electrical engineering. Then went for doing my master's program at Banaras Hindu University. Followed by that, I worked with National Power Training Institute for almost 5 years. Then I got scholarships to study at University of Saskatchewan, Canada. Completed my MS, then worked as a lecturer at Singapore Polytechnic. Then completed my PhD from National University of Singapore, being adjunct faculty for even I taught at NUS, University of Newcastle, Australia, Coventry University, and so forth. And I have been involved in IEEE for more than 3 decades almost. Okay. So what's in the name? There is a lot in the name. You can see the relationship here. I'm very happy to share with you my views. Now, what is your feeling about the current energy scenario? Okay. That question we are asking, okay, visualize that each one of us has decided to focus on one of the specific potential opportunities. What is that? To take up smart, clean, and green energy related projects or programs and prepare research proposal, technical study, or article. Depends on your choice. Okay. All of us know that COVID-19 massively disrupted our traditional system. And at the time, doctors and scientists used to say, whose lungs are weak, we have to be careful. Science of it. On, on your left side, you can see that healthy lungs. And on the other side, you can see the lung which has been damaged by whatever means. Okay. One of the reasons for damaging our lungs is air pollution. And according to research from Verasic McElcraft, out of 100 most vulnerable cities, 99 are in Asia. And out of 99, 37 are in China, 43 are in India. And both of them are now termed as the world's first and third biggest emitters of greenhouse gases, respectively. Okay. And due to COVID and something, and now there is a big story about the mask, different types of masks. We have to wear it because of pollution or whatever it is. And I used to say 10, 15 years back, whenever I used to go for conferences and interact with the people, especially in Asia, I said, if you do not take action now for going for sustainable clean energy, then we may have to meet like what you've seen here, okay, in completely different scenario. I did not know at that time that in 2020 we will have to wear the mask, and that is why the mask has come in. So once that the mass has come in, now there are various ways. They say now we need to purify air and we have to oxygenate. So researchers are looking at to reduce the risk of COVID-19 transmission using plants, natural fibers, ionizers, and air filters. And there are natural way and there are some artificial ways. Okay. So what is artificial? Yes, we can use devices. There are devices which are air purifiers available in the market. If the air outside is very polluted and in one of those hazardous or very unhealthy zone, then we need to use in our homes those kind of devices. On the other hand, we may have to use oxygen cylinders depending on the situation. Okay, depending on the situation. And obviously, all of us know that the clean water is very, very important. In many of the places, now the tap water is no more a clean water because energy is required to bring water from reservoir to the places in your house and industries. The water bottle has become common. However, the pump and motor set are needed to drive them, okay, to pump them. Ideally, we want our water quality to be good to excellent range, but they are saying in many places in the world that quality is not only bad, sometimes very bad. And that is where water bottles are being used. Again, that is energy. What about food? I think we experience there is a food security issue. So there is a nexus between food and energy. If we want to cook our food, we need energy. Okay, different forms of energy. It may be LPG or such as electronic devices, blender, then mixers, microwave, and we need to store them in refrigerators. We need energy, and all our foods need to be processed nowadays. Okay, processing. There is a big food processing industry for especially for juices and other types of food. So even for getting food, we need lots of energy. And yes, water, air, and food gives us energy. But to get that food, we need to use energy. This is predominantly fossilized energy. So if you talk about campus or society or colony or whatever place it is, we need clean air. If it is in a campus, clean classrooms, laboratories and offices, clean air. Good to moderate. Okay, obviously we have just seen we can use devices to do it. Then clean water, drinking water. Then sanitation, other uses, obviously wastewater treatment. So we need that one. And also most of us eat in canteens and a hostel mess or for functions. We need a healthy food. So air, water, and food, which has become most precious commodity during. We learned this during pandemic. Importance of clean air, clean water, and clean food, which can be possible. Otherwise, because of pollution, most of us may be thinking, oh, if you are only having air pollution, it might affect your lungs. No, nowadays the pollution can affect various parts of the body, can go deeper. So, air pollution, water pollution, soil contamination, and other things not only affect your body, it can go in the long term like a cancer risk also. And therefore, question arises, do you want to go back to the same old normal or think differently? For that purpose, what we need is clean self governance. And energy has a pivotal role to play in this purpose. As mentioned to you, yes, if outside air is not clean, not okay, polluted air, not in the healthy range, then we need air purifiers. Yes, we need to get vaccinated and if we need to monitor our oxygen level, then oximeter is there. Another part is clean water. I mentioned about it, so requires energy. Yes, in the event there is still pandemic going on, you might need high-tech masks. And to stay healthy, we need nutritious food. So clean self-energy governance requires all these things. Energy has a pivotal role to play. And most important, like now water bottles are common. In future, there could be oxygen bottles coming. That oxygen bottles are coming. Okay, that may be required in future unless we take action. The question arises how to go back to the pre-COVID-19. Everybody is wanting to go back. And what is the role of energy in that? All of us know that what is happening to energy current scenario. The energy scenario, what is happening? Yes, energy prices have been rising for last roughly 2 years. Oil and coal prices have risen. Now they are around $100 per barrel. Natural gas prices, especially in Europe, also are going up. So as a result, electricity prices are also going up because coal, oil, natural gas, if they are used for producing electricity, those are also going up. And you must have heard about it. That is why some countries want to cap that price, how to help the people. So that is the current energy. It's a volatile, it's very volatile. Then would you like to go back to the same old normal in most of the part of the Asian world, as mentioned by that one of the research firms? Polluting industry, garbage dump and burn, transportation now is coming back, and then pollution. Would you like to go back to the same old normal? That question is asked. Well, then, if you go back to the same old normal, this might be there in very so. This might be there very so. Why it has been happening? It is not the okay. It has been happening for a long time because of our quest for modern, luxurious lifestyle. Okay, as you can see here, luxurious lifestyle. Everybody wants to follow big houses, the big cars, and okay, our addiction to oil, rising population, and geopolitical conflict like now it is Russia-Ukraine war, which has upset supply chain like anything. That is why inflation is oil prices are rising, inflation is rising, and all of us are facing challenges. Now, if you take about the energy aspect, according to various studies, and one of the studies I'm showing over here, world energy demand is now almost 85% fossilized energy, primary energy, which is they say likely to go down to 75% by 2030 if we take action as mentioned in various okay conference like a COP27 now happening in Egypt and before that in Glasgow. So if we continue to follow that, probably we might be shifting towards some renewables. And they say if we continue this journey, then we might move from 75% to 60% of fossil energy from 2030 to 2050. So even by 2050, we might be still using around 55 to 60% of fossil energy. That is coal, oil, and natural gas. Yes, others are coming, but at a pace which may not keep up with the requirement of Paris Accord or whatever COP27 Accord in which 26, 27 Accord in which you want to limit the Earth's temperature to less than 2 degrees by 2100 and less than 1.5 degree by 2030. We have already reached 1.1 to 1.2 degrees centigrade, and that is why we are seeing the effect of floods and droughts. So, what are challenges then if you want to shift to that? What is it? It will happen. Obviously, necessity is mother of all of us know. Okay, and that being the case, it has been proposed that energy management system should be used because it can help the organization to better manage their energy use and improving productivity. This is ISO 50001 standards. If we apply that, yes, it is being applied, but still at a pace which is not as per the some of the requirements of COP26 and COP27. What is this international standards organization by ISO 50001, which gives a recognized framework for developing an effective energy management system. Now, how to use that? That is where I'm going to now come up and share with you. Okay. Now, presently, we are dominated by fossil energy, and we wish to use fossil energy. Therefore, we need electrical system. This electrical system in cities can reduce the some to some extent. We need electricity. So from power plant to transmission system to high voltage transmission to power station, substation, transformer, and it brings power to our use. But this is well known one. Okay, this is well known network for electrical power system which is being used all over the world. And at present, if you consider China, United States of America, India, even Japan, and some other countries in European and Asian continents, you'll find that there is a dominance of thermal power plants. And thermal power plant, you can see that efficiency of thermal power plant is not that high. Even supercritical coal-fired power station has efficiency of around 35 to 45%. Solar thermal around 32 to 38%, nuclear 30 to 36%. Combined gas cycle can improve efficiency depending on how we use it. It can go up to 60%. Okay. On the other hand, the efficiency of solar panel is less than 20%. Some of you might get 8, 10, 15, 20, depending on how much you invest. Wind power also is around 30% or lower only. So even if you want to use renewable energy like solar and wind, the efficiency is not that high. On the other hand, while efficiency is not high, but greenhouse gas emission, one of them is carbon dioxide per kilowatt hour is for solar panels is 4.64 grams. It's not zero, okay? Still there is emissions. Efficiency 20%, less than 20%. Wind power 70 grams, efficiency less than 30%. Coal fire, yes, coal fired power station can go up to 1,000 more grams. Efficiency around 45%. Maybe get new natural gas. Yes, you get less emissions, but still it is much higher than solar or wind power. Efficiency is better. So that being the case, how we move from fossilized energy to whatever we form of, you say. So for this purpose, we had to quickly look at our sustainable development model. What is it? Okay, sustainable development model. All of us know that on the left hand side, my left hand side, you can say that we want a kind of development where is a clean water, the surrounding is clean, and the environment is well protected, and we get a reasonably acceptable standard of air, water, and food. On the other hand, where they want to have development but not strict standards, where we have got polluting energy, polluting industries. Okay, lakes are polluted, rivers are polluted, transportation system is polluted. So which one is you would recommend? One is on one side sustainable type of development, or should we go for destructive type of development? Put in chat box whichever you feel. S for sustainable, D for destructive development, which has been happening. And yes, that is where to tackle this one, the United Nations have come up with the sustainable development goals. They have come up with 17 sustainable goals which have been published. Some of them say that 18th is also coming. Now, as far as our presentation is concerned, we are going to focus on goal number 7, which is affordable and clean energy. And to some extent, we might also touch on sustainable cities, goal number 11, and goal number 4, quality education. Because through this one, we want to propagate the importance of sustainable and clean energy. So sustainable development goals are useful for that purpose. Another term you must have come to know about it, that is net zero vision. Now everybody is talking about it. Okay, United States of America, they say they are going to have net zero vision by 2050. Europeans are also around that. China says 2060, India says 2070. So it is still 30 years from now and more. So if that is the case, what is your feeling about the term net zero? What is a net zero? You can put in chat box. Now, in simply, net zero means emissions on the one hand minus emissions minus absorptions equals to net zero balancing. This is the minimum thing we can do, balance them, so that we are taking care of it. Yes, United Nations say, put simply, net zero means cutting greenhouse gas emissions to as close to zero as possible, with any remaining emissions reabsorbed from the atmosphere by oceans and forests, and that is why this is the natural way, for instance. Okay, and we'll discuss about it what we can do more. So sustainable development goals, United Nations has given sustainable development goal. Development can be defined as a development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of future generations to meet their own needs. That is what the definition given to us on sustainable development. Then how to make this sustainable development definition net zero? Okay, net zero. That is the question. And very simple. What you do maybe is not that simple because it affects our behavior. So sustainable development can be defined as a development that meets the needs of the present, not greed. As long as as long as it meets the needs. I know some of you might say needs is a varying term. Understandable, without compromising the ability of future generation to meet their own needs, not greed. Because that is whatever the problem we are seeing is because of the greed. Lot of things you are seeing it, whether it is a crypto or whatever it is. So emissions minus absorptions equal to net zero. At least we can achieve that. Then we can make this definition net zero definition. And again, according to United Nations, energy sector is the source of about 3/4 of greenhouse emissions. Okay, is varying terms and holds the key to averting worst effects of climate change. For sustainable development, climate change affect. Okay, to manage climate change, they say we have to work on energy sector. And if that is the case, one of the things they are replacing, yes, you have got polluting coal, gas, oil fired power, then replace it with the renewable energy such as wind, solar, and that could dramatically reduce carbon emissions. Now is that they have been saying this for last couple of decades, but you know it, there is a but. Recently, International Energy Agency recommended that an orderly transition across the energy sector. So we know it. In overnight, we cannot just shut down one power station and then replace it by any clean and green one because of the many issues. So then how to ensure the security of fuel and electricity at all times, which is one of the major issue. And most importantly, how to avoid volatility in energy markets. Just now the diagram has shown you wherein oil prices are going up and recession, because of that inflation is going up, recession is likely to come. So, so IEA recommends shaping a secure, sustainable energy future for all. It is not easy for all. And that is where energy management system can play a role. ENMS can play a very important, crucial role. What is that? Okay, obviously, it is a powerful tool for helping organizations to implement and to continually improve its energy efficiency, and it it can save substantial cost. At the same time, it can reduce greenhouse gas emissions. So whatever the action taken in law as per the ISO 50001 can bring a positive change. And therefore, these standards are published and they have been revised from time to time. Okay, so latest one is from August 2018, and those who are more interested to know about it, I have given these references. You can go and learn about it in details. But now, how to apply it? There are around 7 standards they have published so far, and more will be coming. Okay, ISO 50001 is framework for an effective energy management system, ENMS. It is a series of ISO 50000 is good. Then 50002 for energy audits, and 50003 is for audit and certification. You need a certified programs certification. Then 50004 is for implementation, maintenance, and improvement. 50005 is how to implement for SMEs, okay, small and medium scale industries. 50006 is for measuring energy performance using energy baseline, ENP. Very important. What is the energy baseline? You are going to use it. And the energy performance indicators. Okay, ENP. These are two very important parameters. They need to be considered. And finally, 50007 for energy services. So these are various documents which have been published, and obviously we need to go through systematic training to use it, and industry needs to be pioneering that. Then and then its effects will be seen in future. Now that is where the transition strategy is very important. Energy management system can help, but there are challenges. What are those challenges? Well, how we shift from currently dominated fossil fuel energy to almost okay dominance of clean and green energy. How we can bring that shift is not going to be easy. Bringing that shift is a challenging one. Okay, and that is where I think we will discuss. I will take a break now. This is the end of part 1. We will discuss more in details in part 2. So stay tuned. Thank you very much for paying attention to part 1. Technologies, policies, and practices for sustainable and clean energy system, part 1. We will come back and do for part 2. Thank you.